Good guys, Mr. Octagonal here from Octagonal Gaming. Now we're back with our NFL predictions here. We're now in week 13. We're nearing the end of the season already. It's gone so fast. And last week I had a pretty good week, my second week this year of over 100 points, but I feel like I could be doing a lot better. So I think I need to have a good week. I feel like this week was too easy. I feel like I really don't have any upsets. So let's get right into the picks. So if you guys don't know how this series works, we pick each game, but we don't just pick the game. We go above and beyond on this channel. So what we're going to do is we pick each game and we give each game a number. Sort of like a confidence rating, I guess. Like, let's say we have the Dolphins and the Steelers, and we think the Steelers are going to win, but we're not super confident. We're going to give the Steelers a lower number, like a 1. If the Steelers win, I get 1 point. If the Dolphins win, I get 0. So now let's say we have the Seahawks and the Bucs, and I think the Seahawks are going to win, and I'm really confident that the Seahawks are going to win, then I'm going to pick them with a higher number, like a 16. If the Seahawks win, I get 16 points. If the Rams win, I get goose egg, or not the Rams, I use the Bucs in this example. Let me try that again. So the Seahawks win, I'd get 16 points. If the Bucs would win, I would get 0 points. So basically, if I lose, I get 0 points. So first, we have not the Bucs. Oh my goodness. We have the Bears and the 49ers. And I'm going to pick the 49ers with a 1. The Bears looked horrendous last week against the Eagles. I know the Eagles aren't the best team in the league, but still, the Bears looked awful. This is Jimmy Garoppolo's first start. He looked pretty good against Seattle in the last minute he was in, because C.J. Beathard was in the whole game. I think this could have a lot to do with draft position. I think it would benefit the Niners if they lost, but I don't think they're going to lose. Now we have the Jets and the Chiefs. The Jets have been pretty mean to me the past few weeks because I've picked them to win. They've been losing. The Chiefs have also been pretty mean. They've been ice cold lately after starting 5-0. They've really struggled. They're now 6-5. Last year, the Vikings were the last team to lose. They were 5-0, and they've struggled since. That's what's going on with the Chiefs. And the Vikings are doing really well this year. They're 9-2. They just beat us on Thursday. But anyway, I think the Chiefs are going to rebound. I think both of these teams are really struggling and in need of a win if the Jets want to stay in the playoff race. The Chiefs, meanwhile, are still the best team in their division somehow, but the Chargers are only 1 game behind them, and I feel like the Chargers are slowly approaching. Right now, the Chargers are the best team in that division because the Chiefs have not been winning. At least in November, the Chargers were the best team in that division. The Broncos have been awful. The Raiders have not been great either. So I'm going to pick the Chiefs with a 2, but I'm not super confident in the Chiefs. So now you have the Vikings and Falcons. This is going to be a good game. The Vikings are a better team than the Falcons, but the Falcons are home. So this should be really interesting. I'm going to say the Vikings win. I'm going to pick them with a 3. I'm hoping the Vikings win. Even though I'm a Lions fan, it's pretty obvious the division's out of reach. Most likely. I mean, honestly, I just want both these teams to lose so we can win the division. But the Falcons, if we want to make the playoffs, we need the Falcons to struggle. We need the Seahawks to struggle. We need the Panthers to struggle. And all 3 of those teams I just named, the Seahawks, Panthers, and Falcons, they all have very tough opponents this week. And probably the 3 best teams in the NFC they're each playing. But I do think the Vikings are going to win. I think it should be a pretty close game. I think it's going to be exciting. And hopefully no one wins because I want to make the playoffs. Okay, so our first mini recap of the video, I'm picking the Niners with a 1, the Kansas City Chiefs with a 2, the Vikings with a 3, and now we have the Packers and Bucs. The Bucs have continued to disappoint me this whole year. I thought they were going to be really good. They've been anything but really good at all. Jameis has been all over the place. Now he's hurt. And the Packers, I think after last week against the Steelers, even though they lost, they looked very solid against the Steelers. Brett Hundley had a pretty good game. And I think the Packers are going to realize that their season's not lost. Aaron Rodgers is going to be coming back pretty soon from his injury. And the Packers are really still alive. I think if Aaron Rodgers can come back soon and he can play well, they're going to make the playoffs. But that's if the Packers want to risk it and send him back out now, or if they just want to shut him down for the year and not worry about him getting re-injured. But I do think the Packers are going to win this game, and I'm going to pick them with a 4. Now we have the Titans and the Texans. The Texans, without Deshaun Watson, have sucked. Meanwhile, the Titans are 7-4, but they honestly look like 4-7. This team does not look like a good football team. Considering, I think they're lucky that they're in the AFC, because the AFC has been much worse than the NFC this year. The NFC has some very good teams, and the AFC just yuck. I think the Titans are going to win this game. I'm going to pick them with a 5, but the Titans should not be 8-4. I thought at the beginning of the year they could be 8-4, but they have looked anything but 8-4. But I do think they're going to win this game. Now we have the 8-3 Panthers and the 9-2 Saints. This should be a very good game, and we'll have a lot of playoff implications in the NFC. I think there's a solid chance the winner of this game could win the NFC South. The Saints beat them earlier, so if the Saints win, they're going to be 2 games better than them, because they're going to be 10-4, or not 10-4, 10-3, and the Panthers are going to be 8-5, and they're going to have the tiebreaker. That's exactly what I think is going to happen. I'm going to pick the Saints to win this game with a 6. I still think the Saints are the best team in the NFC. I know they did just lose to the Rams, but the Rams are a very good team as well. And yeah, I'm going to pick the Saints with a 6. Well, tonight we're going to watch a very entertaining game. We have the Redskins and the Cowboys. Woohoo! NFC East rivals. And it's going to be a snooze fest. The Redskins are a pretty solid team fighting for a playoff spot. And so is Dallas. But Dallas has just been so bad lately. Picking Washington with a 7. I think Washington's a pretty good team. Kirk Cousins is a pretty good quarterback. And the Cowboys have just been a mess the past few weeks. They got smoked on Thanksgiving by the Chargers. And I would not be surprised if they got smoked 2 Thursdays in a row. This time by the Washington Redskins. Ravens are somehow the 6th seed in the AFC. Even though they have a non-existent offense. And meanwhile, on the other side, we have my Detroit Lions, who are 6-5, coming off a comeback, but still loss against the Vikings on Thanksgiving. Darius Slay was not offsides. The play clock people ruined it. It's hard to explain. If you guys want me to explain why the play clock people ruined it, then ask me in the comments, because I will explain it for you guys. I'm not saying that just to sound smart or funny, but I think my Lions are going to rebound this week. I think they're going to head to Baltimore. I think we're going to beat Baltimore. We have a really easy schedule. We're probably going to win 4 of our next 5. I know that sounds like a lot, but this might be our hardest game. I think we're probably going to lose to the Packers because Aaron Rodgers is probably going to be back. But we have the Bucs, the Bengals, and the Bears, as well as the Ravens. So I think we should beat the Ravens. I think it should be a pretty close game. I'm probably picking the Lions a little too high, but remember, I'm really biased. Mini recap, I'm picking the Packers with a 4, the Titans with a 5, the Saints with a 6, the Redskins with a 7, the Lions with an 8. Now we have the Jaguars and Colts. Another AFC South battle. We have 2 of those this week because the Titans and Texans are playing. The Jaguars, they are coming off a loss against the Cardinals, which you should not lose to the Cardinals. And the Cardinals are now fighting for the playoffs. Meanwhile, the Colts suck. The Colts suck. I think the Jaguars are the 3rd most talented team in the AFC. That says something because the AFC is terrible. I think it's the Steelers and Patriots conference lose. After that, I think the Jaguars are the 3rd best team. And after that, no one else deserves to make the playoffs. No one. No one. Maybe even Chargers if they get hot. But I do think the Jaguars are going to win this game. I think the Jaguars have an extremely talented team. I think they're very underrated and can make a run, but this is not Madden, so they're not going to make the Super Bowl. And Blake Bortles is not going to win MVP, but they're still a very good team. Now we have the Cardinals and the LA Rams. The Rams killed them this year. Like I'm saying, whooped them. Like Adrian Peterson. I don't know if you get the joke because Peterson's on the Cardinals. No. It's a pretty messed up joke. But I think the Rams are going to win again. I think the Rams are going to win 2 in a row. They just beat the Saints. Now they're going to beat the Cardinals. The Cardinals are fighting for a playoff spot, so that's why I'm not picking the Rams higher. But I do think the Cardinals just don't have a good team. They have no running back. Actually, no, they do because Adrian Peterson's pretty good for them, I guess. They have no quarterback. Their defense has some good players. But they're still going to lose to the Rams on Sunday. Now we have the Eagles and the Seahawks on Sunday Night Football in Seattle. I'm pretty sure this is the first time the Seahawks have been an underdog at home since like 2012. And I do think they're going to lose. I think the Eagles are going to win 10 in a row. 10 in a row. I don't think they're going to go 15-1. But I do think they're going to beat the Seahawks. I think it should be a pretty interesting game. I'm excited to see if Carson Wentz can do good at Seattle against that very good defense, it does not have Richard Sherman or Cam Chancellor, but I still think it should be pretty interesting, but I think the Eagles are a better team, and the Eagles will prove it. Mini recap, I'm picking the Jaguars with a 9, the Rams with a 10, the Eagles with an 11, and now we have the Broncos and the Dolphins. I might be picking them a little too high, but I'm going to pick the Miami Dolphins with a 12. The Broncos suck. I don't think they've won since week 4. I think Paxton Lynch is starting now. I think Paxton Lynch is starting now, which is the right move for them. But I still think we're going to lose to the Dolphins. I think it's in Miami. The Dolphins are fighting for a playoff spot. And I think the Dolphins can make it, even with Jay Cutler starting, which makes no sense. But remember, the AFC sucks. Now we have the Raiders and Giants, two of the NFL's most underperforming teams last year, especially after both teams made the playoffs last year. Especially the Giants, who have sucked. They have 2 wins. And I think that's going to stay at 2, because I think the Raiders are going to win. Nice win against the Broncos. I think they're going to beat the Giants. And the Raiders, what are they going to be, 6-6? They're going to be either 5-7 or 6-6. The Raiders can climb back into the playoff race, even though they've not looked that good this year, but the AFC sucks. I do think the Raiders are going to make it, because I think they're going to catch some fire, and the AFC sucks, which is the main reason why they're going to make it. But I think this one's going to help them. I think it's going to give them a lot of confidence. And, yeah, go Raiders, I guess. You guys are probably excited for Monday Night Football as I am. Steelers and Bengals. Oh, goodness. How many times is Vontaze Burfict going to get ejected? You can ask the same question about Pac-Man Jones. Just bringing up playoff references from a couple of years ago, but the Steelers are much better. As you can see in the picture, Ryan Shazier is eaten. That's what the Steelers are going to do against the Bengals on Monday night. We have the Bills and the Patriots. The Bills are fighting for a playoff spot with Tyrod Taylor. Nathan Peterman's such a stud. And they're going to be taking on the New England Patriots, and I hate to admit it to you, Bills, but you're going to lose this one because the Patriots are really good. They're going to improve to 10-2, as well as the Steelers. And it's still going to be the Patriots and the Steelers AFC to lose. So, mini recap, I am picking the Dolphins with a 12, the Raiders with a 13, the Steelers with a 14, the New England Patriots with a 15, and now we have the Browns and the Chargers. The Chargers have been very good lately, going off a nice win on Thanksgiving. They're coming off a long week, and they're at home. And the Browns have not won yet. But remember last year, the Chargers and Browns played each other. The Browns hadn't won yet. The Browns won in Week 16. That's their only win last year and this year combined. That's Hugh Jackson's only win as a coach for the Browns. And the Chargers are going to win. The Chargers are not going to let the Browns beat them again. I don't know how they lost in the first place last year. But the Browns are going to go down to 0-12. And I still don't know how Hugh Jackson has not been fired yet. As well as any other coach. How has no coach been fired yet? I don't know how Chuck Pagano still has a job. Marvin Lewis, don't even get me started with him. And there's plenty of other ones. Ben McAdoo, oh my word. John Fox. Jeez Louise. But that's the end of this video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. I'm out. Peace.
I'm a Barbie girl in the Barbie world. Loving plastic, it's fantastic. You can brush my hair, undress me everywhere. Imagination, life is your creation.
Yo, hey, man!